Hello, Andy. This is Colin. I won't be able to get in tonight. I'm sweating like a pig.
Hi, David here. One Up Gaming, episode 366 of the One Up Gaming podcast. And we're going to go straight into the games we've been playing this week. And we have been playing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, this one is very similar to the ones that were made a couple of years ago. I can't remember what the hell they were called now, but was it Friday the 13th? I think. Can't remember. But there's been a couple of iterations of this same formula where normally it's like you are one bad guy and there's like 4 or 5 good guys, and the good guys are trapped somewhere and they have to try and escape, and the bad guys tasked to try and stop them escaping and killing them. Normally it's like the one bad guy against a group of people. You can either team up or go your separate ways and hope for the best. This game's a little bit different, whereas you've got, I think, 3 bad guys and you've got 3 I can't remember, 3 or 4 good guys. So you can either team up, and it's the same sort of concept: try and escape or try and kill. And that is the basis of this game. I've played a little bit of it. I wasn't massively enthralled with it. I guess once you get used to the map and where you can go and where you can hide, that's where it might get annoying if you're new to the game, because you'll come across people who know exactly where to look and exactly what to do, and that could get annoying. But I guess we'll see what happens in a few weeks and a few months to see if this game is still being like pushed along and if it's still going along. Because I think we gave it a decent review on our website, so please check out the review at www.oneupgaming.co.uk. And yeah, next up, Moving Out 2. Now this one is another one of those like weird physicsy sort of games where you are a moving company and you have to grab all the things and drag things out into the back of the van, and you can like launch things out of windows. It's like a top-down view, and it's quite fun. It's just a stupid, fun little game, and I really enjoyed it. Again, check out the website. We gave it a good review, and we've got videos up on YouTube. So just search One Up Gaming, find us, like us, bell us, share us, all that good stuff. Leave comments. We'd love to hear from you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed some of the games we've been playing. So next up, a random one, Arkanoid Eternal Battle. Now this one, I think it came out a year or 2 ago now, and it's one of those games where it's just like really random. It's another one of those like the Tetris, I don't know what it was called, the Tetris 99 was it? And those other games of where it's like you against other people trying to play the game. And again, this is, you can either play the standard remixed version of the original game, or like the you against other people, and as you're playing it, different backgrounds are like clicking away, moving around. And I love Arkanoid, I love the concept. It's a very simple game. It's like Breakout sort of thing. You control like a spaceship at the bottom, where I say spaceship, you control like a little bat line at the bottom of the screen, and you move it left and right, and you bounce the ball up and down to destroy the blocks at the top of the screen. That is basically it. I love the game, I love the concept. It's an easy game, back from my childhood, and this has added a little bit of spice to it, and it's got more visual flair, more depth to the game, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, Arkanoid, good little game. Next up, Jade Empire. Now this one is probably, back in the day, 20 years ago, whenever it was amazing. But looking on it with modern day eyes, you can see a little bit of jank, a little bit of stuff happening, and it is just, it's a good game. It's still good. It just feels a little bit off. The movement's a little bit off, the camera's a little bit off, and it just all adds up to just somewhat not quite smooth enough to play modern day. But I loved the idea of it. I like the fact that it's more weapon-based combat. I just loved the actual. If they were to do a modern-day remake of this, with more modern-day storytelling, more modern-day graphics and effects, and just how everything flows and looks, I would say it'd be amazing. It really would. I'd love this game. But as it is, it might be a little bit too old for the average person to get down and play with. Next up, a game which, again, I've heard of, but I'd never played. But I thought, I'll give it a quick go, and that was Firewatch. And an hour and a half later, I was still playing this game. It's very simple, very easy to get into. You are basically walking along, picking up things that you are guided directly towards. It then starts talking, and you have to do the conversing with people of the radio. You have to work out what's going on. You have to work out what's happening in your life. It's a walking simulator done perfectly right. I love the fact of the game itself is so.
What makes me so special?
It's so well written. The voice acting is so well done. It just flows so well. It's an amazing game. I would easily recommend this as one of the best games I've ever played. And there's not much gameplay to it. But yeah, I thought it was a really good little game, and I might even get back into it and play more of this game. That's how much it gripped me. I don't normally do that with games. So Firewatch, amazing game. I'd easily recommend it. Like 10 star, just like it's 10. It's great. Next up, a new game that's just come out, Rev Head, and this one is, I guess it's like similar to those car mechanic simulator games, but it also has a bolted on full racing element. So you go to a town, like a little, I think it's in Australia, a little like Australian place with a garage. You get given a car and you tune it up, you add bits to it, you change bits to it, and you enter a race. And the elements are there. It's got a full open world game. It's like a ghost town when you're driving around. There's no one else on the road. On the actual tracks when you're racing, I think it's like 6 or 8 people on the track. The car handling has got no physics, no weight whatsoever, so you hit something and you bounce off like a little bouncy ball sort of thing, like something filled with helium. And the mechanic part of the game is a very streamlined, simple version of the mechanic simulator. But when someone does this game with the graphics, the depth of the gameplay of like the Forza series with the mechanic simulator series, and mine blends them together. So you go somewhere, you open up your own mechanics sort of like garage, and you actually have your own racing team that you could race as. I think this could be a game changer in the game sort of side of things. And you might even be able to just skip the mechanic-y part and just do the full-fledged racing sort of thing and just hire people to be the mechanics. But if you really want to get your hands down and dirty, I think this game could have been amazing. I love the concept, I love the setup. Unfortunately, the racing element of the game is bad, and the tuning and that element of it, I quite enjoyed that because it's a bit more streamlined, a bit more simple, so it's not as hard to get into. But overall, it's just not good, and I can't recommend it. I'm sorry. I've loved the whole concept, but the game itself as a whole is just not worth the time at the moment. And the last game that we played this week, and I apologise because I can't pronounce foreign names, but Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot, the detective with a moustache, and it's their new game, The London Case. And I played it for a little bit. It starts off with a prologue where you're on a boat, a big like cruise liner ship thing. Something happens, something gets stolen, and you have to talk to people, link clues together, that kind of thing. It's more of a top-down view with full 3D movement of the characters, and I quite enjoyed the puzzles, I quite enjoyed the talking to people, I quite enjoyed linking it all together. I did feel as though sometimes with these games, if you're not thinking of how the developer wants you to think and how to create the solution, it's very hard to get into the actual game. I will say the worst thing about the whole game is the characters. They look like The Sims. You know, they look really basic, look very generic. It doesn't look like the guy with the mustache. It's just like a bald head. It looks like a Waxwork Museum doll. It's weird. It really draws you, it pulls you out of the game. But if you're into storytelling and puzzles, it could be fun for you. But for me, a lot of the graphical styling and the characters that they used and how they built the whole engine around these characters, it was just bad. And I really didn't like how this whole thing looked, and that really pulled me out of this game. So myself, I wouldn't recommend this game for anyone. It's just not very good, unfortunately. So that's what we've been playing this week. Please like, share, bell the YouTube channel. We have new videos every week. So every Monday we have the UK Top 40s. Every Tuesday we have the Boostroid video. Every Wednesday we have the Which is Best. Every Thursday we have a retro inspired video. Every Friday it's the podcast. Every Saturday it's the games played this week. And every Sunday it's a roundup of this week's news. So that's what I've been doing. So we'll have a quick break and come back with this week's news. I had to think what I was doing then.